Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. So today is a request video. I got this from a couple people. I don't know if you guys know each other. This is kind of weird to get this particular video from two different people. We've been talking about lately Vietnam retirement, how it's becoming not a possible thing. I got a request about Thailand, and this is an interview. They're talking about retiring to Thailand, and a guy moved to Thailand to kind of retire, for say, from his professional job as a pilot, and he's leaving after like 18 months. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to sit down, go through this video, and just kind of react to the key points. So this is a 20-some minute video. Check the link below if you want to watch the whole thing. So let's get into it.
Okay, so how long have you been here?
1 year, 8 months. So a big part of the reason I came here was to get away from the grind. I was tired of the grind. I was tired of dealing with all the COVID stuff.
I just wanted to change. I'd been to Thailand many times. I knew I liked it, and it just felt like the right thing to do. And I don't regret coming for a second.
So the first part, you kind of heard that he's been to Thailand a bunch. And I always talk about this. Like, if you're going to move to a country to retire, for say, you should definitely see it. All these countries in Southeast Asia offer a 3-month visa to an extent. The idea that he visited these spots as a tourist doesn't really inject you to the culture. And this is something he's going to talk about later, how he was kind of, I guess, culture shocked and surprised by things that he didn't think were going to be issues, but he considered them. If you are going to go to these countries to retire, I recommend going for 3 months, getting an Airbnb for 3 months, and just living there and being in the culture. Don't just go there as a tourist and just be like, this is how the country is, because it's not.
What things are there that they may not expect that may come up, or different aspects of living here from visiting? So, you know, it's not that you don't expect things, because if you're smart, you're doing your homework, you know language barriers and all these things are going to cause an issue. It's not until you live it that you start to appreciate how impactful it is.
I didn't like that feeling of not being independent.
And that's not their fault, that's our fault.
Sure,
we don't
sure.
speak the language, but it is an issue.
This is the difference between living in these countries as like a tourist and like staying there for 2 or 3 months, because being there for a couple of weeks, you're going to be around English speakers, you're going to be around more of westernized tourist areas where they're kind of accommodating us as Westerners, right? When you live in these spots, like when you live in Thailand, you kind of put yourself within the community of the people, the Thai people, the culture, the shopping, the going to the markets, you know, paying rent every month, paying your power bill. This stuff starts becoming. And when he said language, that's a big part of it. My first like 6 months living in Thailand, I was in a lot of like Chiang Mai, Phuket, Bangkok, all these spots. I didn't have to speak any Thai. And there was no reason. There was always somebody that could speak English, or there was something I could just point at, right? They even made the menus where there's like pictures on everything. So it was like, you were fine. But when I moved there, and I moved to Pattaya, actually east of it in Sriracha, the only thing that saved me there was I could speak Japanese, because everyone spoke Thai and Japanese. So English was not even an option there. So visiting there would have been a whole different experience than living there. And just inject yourself in the community, because it's not the same as in visiting as like a tourist.
The food is one part of the reasons that I came, and part of the reason that I'm leaving. You know, you love Thai food in America, and you get those same Thai dishes here, and they're delicious. But then they also eat a ton of stuff that
I'm like, I'll pass on the chicken feet or the blood soup, you know?
I think a lot of people have this idea that like Asian food is just rice and noodles and then some kind of random meat and vegetables. But you get out of the tourist areas, you start seeing some weird stuff. When we were in Chiang Mai, dude, we were seeing domestic animals like strung up on walls, being barbecued and stuff. Like, it's insane.
Housing is wildly affordable. It's messy as hell right now, but I mean, I have a big, nice 3-bedroom, 3-bath house, and I'm paying $900 a month. Living is definitely cheaper. Groceries, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's a big part too. The rent housing in Thailand, I think, is the cheapest that I've ever seen in Southeast Asia. It's cheaper than Cambodia. It's cheaper than Vietnam.
What are things that people need to know about before they come?
Number one on my
You
list,
seem angry.
the heat and humidity were definitely a factor. Okay, number 2 on my list, and this one's actually a big one, are Thai drivers. I call them kamikaze scooter pilots. I think that a lot of people haven't had formal driving school or training here.
Okay, so you see kind of a lot of this. So the first one was weather. This guy's from Texas. His name is like Tied to Tech or something like that. Tex, like Tex. And he's telling you it's too hot. Like, that's got to tell you, Texas is hot, bro. Like, it gets hot in the south. Thailand is definitely very humid, which is kind of a thing. Pattaya is ridiculous, bro. It gets nasty hot, and there's just not a breeze. Like, we did a vlog out there like last year. I think we were in Pattaya, and it was like 38 degrees, something like that, with no wind. We were walking on the beach. It was just like barbecue. Like you will literally be at barbecue. It is ridiculous. Like even the bars and stuff are quite slow because even the Western people are like, I can't do this. Or they drink like 2 beers and they're like passing out from the heat. What else did they talk about? Driving. Oh, we were just talking about that. So driving in Thailand is actually not bad. And when I heard them complaining about it, I was kind of laughing because when you live in Vietnam, Vietnam has to be the worst driving in Asia. Like I'm including China and India into this. Like it's just so uncivilized out here. Like people drive on sidewalks or on the side of the road. They're jumping on sidewalks. They're driving through people's property. They're driving through restaurants, honking at customers that are sitting and eating. Cars are just all over the place. You'll see a car run a red light and stop in the middle of the intersection because they didn't want to wait at the red light, but they block everything. Like it's insane. Thailand, on the other hand, isn't that bad. Like if you guys have ever heard the stereotype in America or in the West rather, like Asian female drivers are horrible. Think of those stereotype drivers as how Thai people drive. Like sometimes you'll see them stop for no reason or back up in a one-way lane, something like that. Ideally, driving in Thailand isn't as bad.
Well, there was a few other things that Scott had not thought about when he said, okay, I'm going to head out of Thailand. I'm going to go back. And like your vehicle, for instance, he bought a nice Ford pickup truck. What happened there?
I knew that you'd take a 10, 20, 25% hit on a used car, a new car if you did have to resell it. Not in Thailand, at least not right now. I am taking a 50% hit on my truck. And it only has 3,500 miles.
Damn.
Now, interestingly enough, my motorcycle I sold for a completely reasonable price.
Quick, if you're gonna live in Thailand, buy a car, buy it used. Never buy them used. Or buy them new. The reason he's having this issue, because I've went through this. When you buy a new car in Thailand, there's quite a few taxes. These are government taxes, sales taxes, state taxes, taxes, which drives up the cost of vehicles in Thailand. So he said he gave up 50% of the cost. I'm pretty sure like 10 or 15% of that was because of the tax. When you sell a used car, you're selling it based off the MSRP. So if you buy a truck for $20,000, but you end up paying $30,000 because of the taxes and all that crap, when you sell it used, the highest you can sell it for, which isn't even imaginable because it's used, but 20,000 is the ceiling, right? But you typically sell it down to like 12 or 15,000. So if you're gonna buy a car in Thailand, buy it used.
That when you bring money in, it's taxable.
So say you just use the ATM. How are they going to know what you're bringing in?
No.
They know what you bring into the bank from the international wire transfer.
I know that sound like gibberish. They just said like ATM and stuff like that. What this is a new tax that starts January 1st of 2024. There's a guy on YouTube. His name is Retired and Working for You. He did an interview with a lawyer in Bangkok about this law. And to summarize it for you, what's going to happen is Thailand is about to make a law that will make Thailand the most expensive import financially country in human history. And I'm not exaggerating that. This is actually a higher tax than even Rome charged their people before Rome collapsed. And what it is it's an assumption tax. So any money you bring into Thailand, they will tax you 30 to 35% for it. So if you just saved $100,000 for working for like 20 years, you put aside money, and it's already been taxed from your country, and you bring it to Thailand, they're going to tax you 30 to 35% unless you can prove that you've already paid tax on it. And let's say you prove that you paid 25% tax on it, they're still going to charge you 10 or 50% on it. On top of that, a lot of people that are quite successful and they moved to Thailand because it was a good retirement location are now leaving. Like people have elite visas with 20-year visas that are about to leave Thailand because of this law. So this is a nasty tax. It's going to screw a lot of people over. And kind of what they're doing with it, they're going to put it out January 1st, 2024, and they're going to let it ride. And he said it, the big guy, the text guy said this, and the lawyer said it too that talked to the other YouTuber, said that they feel that the government's going to just throw it out there and they're just going to adjust the law as things go on. I really feel this is going to destroy long-term tourism for Thailand because that is 35%. So we'll see how that goes, but that's what they're talking about. It is real. And he mentioned something, the guy in the green shirt mentioned, like, what if it is taken as by ATM? They might actually lock it or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, this is a weird law. Thailand hasn't totally figured it out. But keep that in mind. Retiring in Thailand right now, if that's your plan in the next few months, I would put it on hold because of this law. So look into it with that YouTube video.
I come here with like a suitcase. I didn't want to do that. Like I love to cook, clearly, and I got a lot of tools and shit, and I just didn't want to part with those things. So when I came, in addition to my 3 big-ass suitcases, I shipped an entire pallet full of stuff over here.
Jeez.
And so now I'm shipping 2 pallets back. Well, collectively, that cost me $7,000 to ship. It would have been a $10,000-$15,000 advantage for me just to stick stuff in storage for a
That's
year or
crazy.
two and pay that storage fee than it would be to sell everything and then have to rebuy a lot of it when I get there.
Okay, so this last one, if you're moving to Thailand, obviously you're going to bring stuff, right? You're going to bring clothes, stuff you had. What he did is he brought 3 suitcases of his stuff, which is normal. You'll bring your stuff. But he also had stuff freighted over from his kitchen, like barbecues and stuff like that. Don't do that. He even said at the end of the video that he wished he just bought the stuff in Thailand and sold it in Thailand instead of bringing it from America to Thailand, because he ended up spending like $15,000 for freight. That's insane. How much does a barbecue cost in Thailand? Like $200 or $300 for a super nice one, like an American style one. Like, if you're gonna move to Thailand, bring your stuff, clothes, cosmetics, whatever you got going, whatever fits in your suitcase, cool. But don't pack your kitchen. Don't try to send your car to Thailand. Don't send big stuff like that, because if you end up leaving, like this guy, he only stayed in Thailand for like 18 months. And now he's sending it all back. $15,000, dude, to ship stuff back that's probably worth like maybe $5,000 or $6,000. I don't know what this stuff is, but it cannot be worth $15,000 because that's stupid. Anyways, do that. So to kind of sum this video up, if you're thinking about retiring, going off their information, what they talked about, bring what you need, but don't bring extra stuff. Put the big stuff in storage and just pay the storage fee for a few years, kind of a thing. In regards to like automobiles and stuff, buy used if it's a car. If it's a motorbike, buy new. Who cares? And before you come out here, make sure you get your motorcycle endorsement on your license. And in regards to moving out here and financial status, stuff like that, I would have at least 3 to 4 months of money laying around. So you're okay. So you don't want to come out here and you're like, oh, by month 2, I need a job or I would be homeless. If you are planning on coming out here not retiring and actually working, being a teacher, check the links below. Check out my eBooks. I got everything that will get you started, get you discounts on the certifications that you need, and get you out here so you can earn money while you're traveling and living out here and do what you got to do. So I hope that answers the Thailand question in regards to retiring out here. So I will see you again.